Hey Aussie gamers, Luke1 here, and I am playing The Crew. Now this game was developed by Ivory Tower and Ubisoft Reflections. It's available on PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now The Crew appears to be a racing game, but what it is, from what I've played, my experiences, is that it's more of an RPG slash MMO slash racing game. It's going to focus on online gameplay, where you will have a lot of people playing online on the servers that aren't your friends, and you can also put together a crew of your friends to play with. This video is going to concentrate on all the different parts of the gameplay that you can get into early on in the game, and there will be several other areas that you can explore that won't be covered, not to ruin it all for those that are really keen and want to find out a little bit about the game. So you start off the game, and the game is fairly on rails to start off with, which is similar to a lot of games that come out today. I don't really like that style of gameplay, or that style of intro to a game where you're forced to sort of do your intro missions rather than a short tutorial on what you need to do and how the game works and then go for it. This section here, as you can see, the line in the air rather than on the road. I like that as an addition into the game rather than putting it on the road. And as you drive along, you'll run into these little side missions, side games. This one is just a little slalom one. They're very easy to find, and there's a lot of them over the entire map, and I'll show you a bit more about the map later in the video. And crashing is a real thing in the game. I'm not very good at it, as you'll see. I crash quite a bit. It's more of an arcade racing game than a simulator, but I think that gets the mix between racing and sim pretty good for those who like a little bit of both. It's not for your hardcore sims. Games like Gran Turismo or Forza is probably more for those hardcore simulator races. This is a little bit towards maybe like your Need for Speed style games. This is the first race that you will do in the game, and it's part of the mission, part of the main story. In a racing simulator game, I prefer to use the dash camera or the in-car. For a game like this, I think it really does benefit from using the outside camera or the third-person view. The graphics are quite nice. It's not 1080p. You can tell that when you're playing it in native. Obviously, it is a little bit degraded with this video, but you can see the aliasing on the outside of the cars and the environments. But all in all, for a big open world game, it does look quite nice. Racing games are not my forte, if you didn't notice.
We have a budget for this operation, Alex, but it's limited. I've given you enough cash to buy and
Now the cars, you get a starting choice of about 4 different cars here, as you can see them in the original showroom that you kick off with. I'm a bit of a Nissan fan, so I go for the 370Z. You get to test it out on a test track. We can go round and round in circles on a circuit and try it out and see if that's the car you want. And you can pick another one before you actually purchase the car. Now this I'm just showing off the graphics, doing a bit of a pan around the car. The car designs are beautiful and look very accurate. I think they've been made really well. As for the story side of things, it does have a typical story to it. Your main character is voiced by Troy Baker, who also does Joel in The Last of Us and Booker DeWitt in Bioshock Infinite. And it's a basic story of revenge. I won't go too much into the story for those who are really interested in playing the story and finding out what happens. Now the map, as you can see, the map is quite large, the United States, and you can zoom into quite a hell of a bit of a detail there. It's very easy to overzoom though and zoom into the rocks. Coast to coast apparently takes about 45 minutes. I haven't been able to do that. As I said, you are on rails for the first part of the game and you kind of have to do what you're told. And there's an example of that coming up towards the end of the video. But as you can see, the map kind of looks like a top-down RTS style map where it's quite detailed. You see all the roads and the buildings are 3D. And even the map is real-time. You can see that airplane taking off. Now the different setups for the cars. You can get your full stocks, which is basically when you buy a car to start off with, it'll come as a full stock. You can upgrade to street, dirt, raid, performance or circuit. They're the different classes of vehicle that you can get. Kind of gives the vibe of like an old Criterion game, like Burnout Paradise or the newer Need for Speed games.
Looking good. Let's hit the streets.
The customizing, as I've said before, it's not your full-blown simulator like a game like Gran Turismo, but it is a nice mix between easy customizations as well as some really cool stuff that you can do. So body kits you can change, colors you can change. I'll go through some of those things now. I pick red. As they say, cars go faster in red. You can change things like the interiors. I don't know how much the interior will actually be seen. Maybe if you're in the in-car view you might see some of the different color choices. But not a massive impact on the game from what I could see. Minor changes like the stitching colors to the leather and the dash and interiors. It's a really neat way there that the car explodes to show you the bits and pieces that you are changing. Alloy wheels are fun and always good to add a good aesthetic to your car. Now you've got this little test drive mode where the car will basically just drive on the spot. Now it pretends that you are actually going at speed, shows you the handling, shows you the techniques that the car will use around tracks, but essentially on the spot, kind of like a dyno. can't even open up the windows, electric windows on the car models, which is a cool thing, but probably just a little bit of a gimmick because they could. I like it. In this setup, it's the street setup, so you won't have a lot of access to many of the upgrades. You'll likely have to put it into raid, performance or circuit before you can really get some really cool upgrades to your car. And once you're done, drive off and continue your game. This is the part where I was going to drive from Detroit to Chicago because I thought, you know, let's give it a go. Let's see. They claim that there's no loading times and things like that depending on where you go and what you're doing. But once again, I refer to the on-rail section where you kind of have to do what you're told before you can go and just do whatever you want. So it was a 20-kilometre drive that I was going to attempt. I think I might have got 5 to 10 k's down before the game slapped my hand and made me go and do the mission. Just in case anyone's wondering, this is being fast forwarded by about has 700%. This isn't how the game plays. And this part here, slapped on the hand. But anyway, I've been Luke1. Thank you very much for watching and enjoy the crew.